which will be a small advisory board with experts who will look at all the planning and say, okay, then we know we have what they call it, the National Development Planning Committee and all that, but they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So if that's what Mahama wants to do, I will applaud him. But if it's going to be just another Kwango, where we just assemble people that we think we know, and people will think have political weight, just to waste money on them to come and drink coffee, tea, and be a useless advisory board, we don't want. We know when we talk about the city falling. Yeah. This current Baumia and they established what they call a committee to arrest city. You remember that? There was a committee to arrest there. I don't know what you are doing that committee because you don't have to resign. Say, look, I don't know what you are doing that committee because the city seems to have the dollar seems to have beaten all of us. Yeah. So you come out about 20 members staff. I don't know whether the handcuffs they give them were not good enough. So if that's the kind of thing he wants to do, it's useless. It's useless. So we need to interrogate Mahama more.
We'll talk about the Council of State once we get on the discussion.
It doesn't say the fact they are useless.
Hope you are doing well.
I'm doing well. I'm
great,
doing good.
Great. Well, listen, that's Mr. Frank Davis for you. So prepare yourself. Lots more going to be coming your way from that part. But still, on Global Attraction, now moving on straight to some other stories making the rounds. Interestingly, this morning I was monitoring some stories from Ghana, and somebody talking about the fact that he's able to smuggle up to 40 million gold worth $1 million worth of gold every month from the country. And this is a country that is going to the IMF saying that, you know what, we want you to give us 3 billion. Now, how many months will it take the country to, accumulate that 40 million to get to that 3 billion that we're talking about? Couldn't we have actually, if we put things together, managing things properly, have that money for ourselves rather than going and borrowing? Well. We're going to be talking about all that. There are things happening. And I ask myself the question, these political elites there, what are they actually doing? Are they serving our interests or they are serving their own pockets and their families? And they are what? Yes? We'll be talking about that in a moment. But it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. I have no recollection acting for Matthias or his company, Kufuor tells Al Jazeera. We'll be telling you more about that. The president said, the president is my pal. He said, I don't know, I don't remember. This one is like Trump saying, I don't know you.
With his age probably, he's forgetfulness.
Okay.
What has Kufuor remembered? Anything that has to do with corruption and crime, he doesn't remember. PDS, he doesn't remember. Anything has to do with scandal, he doesn't remember. And you think this guy is just stupid to be mentioning and the president and saying that you are my friend? So he doesn't remember his friends. God save us.
Well, God save the king. God save the president. All right, then. Let's move on. A last one. Let's come to other parts of the world as well. As I did say earlier on, explosions and gunfire in Sudan's capital as fighting rages on. We'll be looking at the impact. With what is going on, are they going to be able to return to civilian rule? What exactly is going on in there in the military hierarchy? We'll be looking at that as well. And Putin critic jailed for 25 years in Russia, and 4 dead and 28 injured at a US 16th birthday party shooting. Well, they said the gun laws, let's allow us. Let's everybody have their own guns. Let's go shooting. When we see people, we can shoot at them, and then. But well, they say, now, you know what? If somebody is pregnant, we need to make sure that we protect the person, the fetus, not to be touched at all. Yes, that is good. But when they are birthed, then we leave them. Let them be killed. Is that what we're trying to do? Are we not being hypocrites? We'll be looking at all those in a moment. But wherever you are, it is Starr Radio UK. Now, if you're in the UK, well, the Prime Minister says that, the way forward now is to get everybody to study maths until 18 years. And once we do that, it will help our economy. Our economy will be good. With all the impact from the Brexit and everything, studying maths will be the one or will be the thing that will actually sort our problems out for us. Do you think that is right? If you are not one who loves mathematics, or somebody, Felix will say arithmetic, common arithmetic, you don't like that, what do we do? How is that going to actually impact us? And if your words, we have some of them, they don't like it. They really, so all that they are looking forward to just shine it and just continue or concentrate on what they really like or where they are very comfortable and where they got the strength. What do you think? Lots more going to be coming your way from that. Yes, a minute after 11. Whilst we wait for Mr. Olayomi to join in, let's enjoy this song. It is from the Shadrach Mensah in Ghana, called The Maximum Praise. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you.
Herkese selamlar. Arabai koma gbudowo. Arabani egbudowo lawo. Arabai koma gbudowo. Arabani egbudowo lawo. Ashaye koma gbudobe. Arabani egbudowo lawo. Ijiaye koma gbudobe lo. Arabani egbudowo lawo. Ituaye koma gbudopa o. Arabani egbudowo lawo jo. Ah, koma gbudowo. Onile wo. Sumobi Oloye aye ma ba mi kalo ofo igbeyawo ọ̀rọ̀ ilenu mi mo ní igi la nbe ni igbo ima mi wo lo Arabaye wá gbìyànjú kò dọ́mọ kó wà láyé lọ. Igi ńlá iyọ̀ wà lóhun tó máa fi ṣàràbà lóore. Oníwíwó ní káràbà ìlọ́wọ́ láwùjọ igi. Onílé wo e kò máa gbúdọ̀ wò. Àràbà ní egbúdọ̀ wọ láwùjọ. Ṣọ́dá àbáwọn sọ Fúlàní òyìnbó ṣe ń pa wá. Ṣó wá sùn ọkọ̀ máde ẹmọ́ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ kó jáwọ́ ní. Àwọn àgbààgbà ikọ̀ wọn kò tíra mú odò sí wa kó wà láyé rẹ̀ lọ. Ó máa ṣe òre kò máa gbúdọ̀ wò. Àràbà ní egbúdọ̀ wọ láwùjọ. Èrò bá mi kọ́ mọ́ adé mọ́. Èmi kí ọmọ yìnyín ilẹ̀ akíkanjú ọkùnrin ogun. Èrò bá mi kọ́ mọ́ wọn ní igbó ọmọ rẹ̀. Iná máa rógún màmá ti di pẹ̀lẹ́ ọmọ bàbá rógún màmá ṣojo. Sunday ẹ̀yẹ tó má ṣe bọ́ kí yẹn ò sí ní gbọ́mọ́. Òrìṣà tí ó ṣe bọ́kọ̀ màdé mọ́ ni ṣe bí yẹn ò kọ́ mọ́ lágbẹ̀dẹ. Ẹ̀bà lè jẹ́ ẹ̀bọ̀nà jẹ́. Adéyẹmí yóò máa sọ kọ̀ọ̀kan láì dá. Kìkì orí tó máa kọ́ ni wípé Yorùbá nation ìlógó ìbá kìíní. Ẹ̀dá bí rẹ̀ ṣọ̀wọ́n òye kó máa gbọ́dọ̀ wò. Kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ wò, onílé wò ẹ́. Ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ jẹ́ ká rórí. Ọjọ́ wo ni wọ́n dalẹ̀ Ifẹ̀ tán gangan? Àwọn kan sáré kó lè dára. Èrè bó.
Music, we apologize for the way the sound was coming through, but hey, are you there? Are you hearing us? Are you here? Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite us to like our pages as well. In our North London studios, we've got Mr. Olayomi who has just joined in, so wherever you are, don't you go away. But let me say, Yomi, good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you back in the studio, Archie. And good morning to you, Frank, as well. Good morning to our listeners from around the world. And welcome once again to the Monday edition of the morning show. And it is, the 17th of April, 2023 at 7 minutes past the hour.
Yes. So how are you doing, sir?
Well, it's been a beautiful weekend. Just as the weekend, complete itself, it also means that 2 weeks elapsed for the children to be heading back to school. So we're doing very well. It's just that when is the first day of the week in school, you find it very difficult, to get them out of the bed and, let them understand that the holiday is done. But when we have the opportunity here as Africans, I was listening to you and I'm Frank before I came on board. The question then we ask ourselves is, what about the 20 million Nigerian children that are out of school today? And most of them are just wandering around with no hope. But like you said, I think about almost some tons of gold were taken out of Ghana. Mm-hmm. Well, it's always been like that in African country. And it seems that is one major reason why we are still backwards. I was looking at my LinkedIn this morning because I do a lot of posting there because it's quite a beautiful platform to engage with. And somebody actually posted that the GDP of Nigeria is the highest in Africa, going to South Africa. But somebody then asks, how come we are still the capital poverty of the world?
Well, somebody will say, Frank normally says that. He said, the figures, they just collect those figures and put them across and say, that is the GDP. We are doing very, very well. But you go to the village or that community and that poor person there, look at them and see whether it's actually impacting them in any way, shape, or form. No, theirs have not been captured at all. All right, then. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. As I said, Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios. And it's time for us to have updates from Nigeria. Okay, so now let's move on to some of the story. Boko Haram attacks Yoruba community and kills 11 civilians. Somebody say, what is new? We know that this is what has been happening. We know the President Buhari came in on that mantra that he was going to flush them out. Yet we've not seen anything. Now he's just counting his days to leave office. And we have another attack like that. Give us some more there.
This weekend has been another bloodshed in Nigeria. And it goes on. And it seems that, the Boko Haram are back again on the loose. Let's take you back to Saudi Arabia, where Patami has traveled as well with the president. The president is probably, making his way back or probably still in, the last few days. Buhari in Mecca to thank Almighty Allah for a successful 8 years as president. The president, alongside his aides, some traditional rulers and religious leaders, performed what they call the Umrah rituals and tight security upon his arrival at the Grand Mosque in Mecca. The president during the week embarked on official and spiritual journey to Saudi Arabia to thank Almighty Allah as he prepares to hand over the mantle of leadership to President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Before going that as well, I can confirm that, we also have a visitor to Nigeria, and that is the, JSP Happy, the UK Minister for the Armed Force, for visiting Nigeria. Details of such visit is not, in the open, but we do know that according to the Ministry of Defense here in the United Kingdom, Minister J.S. Happy has returned to Nigeria to build on our long-standing defense relationship. Meeting with the CDS and the Jeffrey Oyema, they discussed how the two countries could collaborate to enhance security and stability in the Lake Chad Basin and the Gulf of Guinea and the wider region. Now let's come back to some of the atrocity that took place. You were actually talking about the Yoruba community but there is even more to the Yobe. I couldn't get that in before, I came on air. And let me quickly give you, Lai Mohammed. I know this picture is going to come up in just about a few minutes. Is one man that tells the world, like Frank always say, it's very easy for him to travel to US, put up some media and say everything is working in Nigeria. But the question to those in some community that got heavy attack, we just want to get the picture of, the Lai Mohammed, Elijah Lai Mohammed up and running quickly, and you can see, let's adjust that, because that has been well designed properly so that we can know, the kind of person he is. So that is Lai Mohammed there. I don't know who designed that, but you can tell that, Lai Mohammed is not going to tell the world exactly what is happening. Let me tell you what took place yesterday, with what we can call coming up to Black Sunday in Nigeria. And this is coming from the community that called for distress call. At exactly 11:46 p.m., I believe this chat was going on between, this community in their forum. We woke up with a Black Sunday. Fulani terrorists entered a community called Runji in our diocese yesterday, Saturday, the 15th April 2023, at about 10:30 p.m. Killed 33 persons, men, women, and children. 10 out of the 33 were burnt to ashes. 30 houses were burnt and destroyed. We just finished the mass burial. I've seen the video. We can't play the video of how they were buried yesterday, in that community. We've just finished the mass burial at about 4:56 p.m. Nigerian time. This is Sunday, 17th of April, 2023. Please remember to pray for us in Zakowa Diocese and Zankokafa with the emoji of cry and their hands up and prayer. Distress call. This also went back to 16th of April at exactly 11:46. Reverend Jacob Kwaosha, the Bishop of Zankowa Diocese Anglican Communion, was sending this to Engineer Daniel. Verify multiple sources and our brethren are in distress situation. Of a truth, the evil Fulani terrorists resumed their crimes in Zanko-Katafa. These bloodsuckers operated for hours without any counter or arrest by the military or other security agents. The Fulani terrorists killed over 67 innocent Christians within 20 days in just one local government of the southern part of Kaduna. The question is, are we in war in Nigeria?
Are we in war in Nigeria? And that is a question on the lips of most people. I mean, if people cannot go about their duties and everything, and we say we have a government in place where they are taking, I mean, it's not like we are not paying them or they are doing it for free. No, we are paying them. But this. So that's why I get a point when I ask myself the question, when we go to vote, who are we voting for? It should get to a point where people are saying we're not even going to vote at all. People are, because we are not satisfied with what they are doing. We don't want anybody. We're not going to vote at all. If people can stand or take that stand, then maybe our leadership will set up.
Yeah, but Archie, I think I will allow me and Archie. I think I will disagree with you people about it. At the end of the day, Nigerians have voted.
Yeah,
and they've been given the selected candidate.
Yeah.
So what do they do? Because voting is the power they have.
Yeah.
We don't want what is happening in Sudan.
We
do not want it.
We don't want that. Yeah.
As we speak now, the generals are alive.
Yeah.
Buhari will be alive. Should it happen, Tinubu will be alive.
Yeah.
Over 50 people have been killed already in Sudan.
Yeah.
But the generals are protected, they're alive.
Yeah.
So the only weapons we do have, which are the most powerful weapons, are the democratic route. Although we can escalate it a bit, which is, for me, targeting them in your communities and seizing them. And I don't want to go the Indian way.
Like they shot
the person in the community, point blank, live. And the person even didn't bother hiding.
Yeah.
It was a point blank shot.
Yeah, I want to do it.
Are you getting me? We do not want it to get to that, but at least that was a targeted attack within a community. Are you getting me? The people voted. They wanted someone else, and we selected another one for them. So what should we do as Nigerians? Declare that we will not vote, and they will tell you they organize their own boys to go and vote, that we participated, the opportunity was provided. We did not ask to come and vote. What are we doing? Actually, it's a dilemma. I say the community surgical approach is the best. Start targeting them within the community. We've seen the results in Ghana. They targeted what they call the majority leader, and the people are getting results because the rules are being done.
Okay.
That's instant results. No cabinet discussion on that.
Well, interesting. Thank you very much, Mr. Frank Davis. Listeners, Mr. Frank Davis for you, Mr. Olayomi and North London Studios. I'm Archie here. Now, so, Yomi, when it comes to this security issue that is going on, now, it looks like when we talk about it, some people, we know there are people who are living their lives the way they're supposed to. So people don't get it. They think that maybe we are just making some noise. But how real is it? Somebody living in Lagos, are they going to see anything of the sort? Somebody living in whichever state, let's say the federal capital, are they seeing anything of that sort? Or is there only some pocket areas, maybe in some hinterlands that are experiencing those things?
Well, not to the large scale of what we are witnessing in Kaduna, but we are also experiencing similar, as well happening, as I can say, in Ogun State, which is about an hour, without the traffic. If you're traveling from Lagos State, officials are now looking for, a suspected kidnappers have adopted what we can call a trace official in Ogun State. So there's a lot of kidnapping going on as well. But like I said, the current situation happening between Kaduna and Benue State is becoming quite alarming. I saw some of the youths in Benue State came out as well. They were literally bitter. They were, crying for help. But it seems the help is not coming. And I mean, what Frank was saying was part of my, discussion late night yesterday with some of my listeners. That we don't want a situation where, the same crime that is happening, by the same politicians that are intimidating people. Where, what happened in India, where a politician, an ex-politician, was shot dead on a live transmission. Is not something that we want to see. We don't want to have a situation where the current happening in Sudan, but everything still boils back to the representatives. And as much as a lot of Nigerians want to change those representatives, there is also what we can call intimidation, and that literally means as we speak today, APC have got 60 senators, while the PDP have got 32 in what is going to be one of the most challenged as well, or we don't know, the 10th Senate. The 9th Senate were probably like a rubber stamp. Are we going to see the same thing happening? Are they going to be there for the people, or are we just going to be, 4 years down the line and then we come back again? Some election happened over the weekend, but already those intimidation will not allow Nigerians to vote for their choice as well.
Well, listeners, Starr Radio UK, do you feel secured wherever you are in Nigeria, or do you think that, the government can do more or do better? Some people travel from here to that part of the world and they come and say that, look, we're not very safe. We don't see ourselves being safe there. But what do you think about all that? More going to be coming your way from there. Don't touch the dial. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We are streaming live on all our social media platforms and on our own apps as well. So get in touch and get on board as well and enjoy the program for today. Now let's move on to Tinubu, the president-elect. And I mean, if nothing happens, when I say nothing happens, if the court has got a ball to say that, look, the election to be rerun, and maybe they've got enough evidence to say that, we think that it wasn't the free and fair elections per the assessment of maybe the courts, then maybe there's going to be a rerun or something or so. But if that doesn't happen, that means come, is it the 27th or the 29th of 29th of May, Tinubu should be sworn in as president. But it looks like he's got dual citizenship. And is that constitutional?
Well, yesterday, throughout the weekend, I believe the first, we cannot verify that, passport, photocopy, but that is already in circulation, on the social media. And Fashola, that is one of the ministers at this current government, the former governor, 2 times in Lagos State as well, was questioned around Tinubu. Tinubu has a lot of what we can call, discrepancy in him as a person. I mean, when you talk about his age, he can't even tell those that he went to school with, from secondary up to primary. It seems even his community has been deserted. We can't know exactly. We know he's from Osun State in Iragbeji, but because he has spent more time in Lagos, he has become the landlord of Lagos State, and as it's called, Jagaban. Nigerians believe that he's the right person, and they've actually voted for him, even though some disagree with INEC. But as usual, go to court is what the APC are saying. But these news, current update about a Guinean passport is something that a lot of Nigerians are now asking. The Tinubu actually told the truth while he was filling those applications to become the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Somebody was asked that question 4 times. He avoided answer to that question. And, you can tell that the manipulation that the politicians put out there. Nigerian constitution allows Tinubu to hold dual citizenship, Fashola says. The Minister for Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, says Nigerian constitution permit the president-elect Bola Tinubu to have dual citizenship. It was actually after, like I said, a Guinean diplomatic passport surfaced on the social media. Internet users went into frenzy over how the president-elect of Africa's largest economy and the capital poverty of the world lied to the National Electoral Commission while under hold. Starr Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Well, listeners, I'm trying to see if the Nigerian, we could get a bit from the Nigerian constitution pertaining to dual citizenship. But let me come to Frank, because it is quite an interesting thing, because if it is unconstitutional, then this should be something that can actually chuck his victory into the gutter.
And it can be prosecuted as well. Because if the constitution, I know for Ghana's constitution, you cannot be an MP if you are a dual citizen. You have to renounce it. Renounce it. In Ghana constitution, you cannot even be a president if you have ever.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. If you have ever heard it before, you cannot be a president. That is in Ghana. That is Ghana constitution. In this country, I recall I tried entering special services. I told you, because when I was growing young,
that was one of your.
I really love it. I saw myself be an investigator living in a remote area, and one of my favorite cars was what they call Grand Cherokee. I picture the color brown.
Yes.
Where I wake up, nobody knows what I'm doing. I work like that. I kind of quote. I used to watch Frank.
Yeah.
The investigator. That America. So I pictured myself in him wearing that coat, even though I was in a hot area. I pictured myself there living in the village, Rumzamba. Meanwhile, I'm gathering intelligence. That was what I wanted. So when I came, I wanted to do that. Now they told me straight that, look, you can go and join the infantry, and you can work, but for special services and certain intelligence, if you are not the Queen's son or daughter, which is, you have to be a British born citizen. Even that, they consider how far your grandmother, whether it's your grandmother, first
generation or second generation before.
They consider that. Right, why do they do that, Archie? It's because of loyalty and allegiance to a state. That they know if you have ever had loyalty and allegiance to another state, you are not fully blooded. It's just like the Bible, when we talk about fully blooded, you know. You have to be a fully blooded Nigerian. Are you getting me? If it can be proven, all one person, all someone needs to do is to do subject of our information request in the US. If they do subject of information request in the US because it's a public file, it will easily be granted. If that's what they've done, then Tinubu will need to go to court, or someone needs to go to court now to prosecute, to challenge his, basically. And if that is the case, then he stands a chance of being jailed because he might have lied under oath.
Yeah.
Might have lied under oath because you're supposed to declare and you're supposed to sign to say that you believe to be true what you have disclosed. If you say he does not recollect them, I have to check him for dementia. Yeah.
Well, they say he doesn't remember some of his colleagues, and I said, well, no wonder. His friend.
Yeah,
yes, he doesn't remember.
No, but on this one, if he say he doesn't remember whether he has been a citizen before, if it is put to and say he doesn't remember, then at the end we have to check him into hospital.
Well, Yomi, he said we have to check him into hospital. But do you know from the top of your head what the Nigerian constitution says? Before you come in, Aziz Bedesari say, good morning, brothers, Koiki, Archie, and Frank, and the rest of the team. Good morning to you, Aziz. Thank you very much for watching us as well. Yomi.
Well, I mean, the Constitution, is a very, very important part of Nigeria. But as many Nigerians also believe that Constitution has been, one of the most, constitution that has been brought in by the military, which is a military decree. But in terms of what Fashola is saying, to what the Constitution is saying, he's not even clear himself, during his comments, because he actually went on to say that, even what does that have to do, with his election result, because the last time I checked, I think the Nigeria Constitution allows you to have dual citizenship, doesn't it? The dual citizenship dimension, which has caused Tinubu to trend for hours on the Twitter and the other social media platform, likely dominate the public charter amid the ongoing election petition trial because the potential of the legal action that will be instituted. But let's look at what the section 137(1)(a) of the Nigerian Constitution says. A person will not be qualified to be president if he has voluntarily acquired the citizenship of a country other than Nigeria. Nevertheless, the court have repeatedly interpreted a section of the Constitution as inapplicable to Nigeria born or a citizen born to either a Nigerian parent or both parents. But section 25 to 27 of the 1999 Nigerian Constitution allowed dual nationality only for Nigerians of origin by birth and naturalization. Let's talk about, the former Senate president, the former governor of Kwara State, Bukola Saraki, was a two-time governor in Kwara State, despite carrying a British citizenship, and went on to serve as the Senate president. But the charge of perjury will loom over Mr. Tinubu, who in his Form EC9 application for presidency told the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, that he had never obtained a citizenship of another country. But it seems that from the passport photocopy that has gone online, we don't know whether it's a Photoshop, but his media have not responded in the last 48 hours to that. Maybe they're still thinking, how did they get hold of that?
Frank, I see that you want to say something, but he's talking about. That's why I was saying that we need to scrutinize that constitution to know exactly what it's saying pertaining to this. Because if they say that if voluntarily, because I heard that word voluntarily acquired, if you voluntarily acquired a citizenship, then you are not.
137(a) of Nigerian Constitution says again, person will not be qualified to be president if he has voluntarily acquire the citizenship of a country other than Nigeria.
So that he wasn't born maybe a Guinean, so that is involuntary. But this one, I decided due to something I want to get this, and so that's voluntary then. So if he has done that, that annuls his position now.
Not entirely, because we don't know what the Constitution has said about renunciation.
Okay. Has he renounced it?
That is a question. Again, the Constitution, according to what Olayomi is saying and what he's reading, the Constitution also allows for dual nationals that are born Nigerians. So what it means is that Olayomi is a born Nigerian. He wasn't born a British and did not voluntarily acquire Nigerian citizenship.
Okay.
A Lebanese who was born a Lebanese came to Nigeria, started a business, became a Nigeria by dual citizenship, can never become a president of Nigeria. You must be born in Nigeria at birth. You must be in Nigeria at birth, which means both parents or one of them should have been a Nigerian for you to be born at birth. And then you could have acquired another citizenship through voluntary means. If you are renounce it, you still can qualify to be a president according to what the 1999 Constitution is saying. If that is the case, then Tinubu is on the safe ground on that level. However, when it comes to lying under oath, which is perjury, that becomes a criminal offense. We do not know what the Nigerian Constitution, which we need to interrogate, probably we need a Nigerian constitutional expert in-house or to be able to speak to us on that. That if you have been charged of criminal acts before, you can still become a president. You recall in Ghana, Kwame Pallien, wanted to become a president, but because he's been charged, sentenced to prison before for treasonable offenses, which criminal, he could not put himself out.
I was one of his campaigns at the time.
All right, okay.
That's when I was doing politics.
Okay. So your candidate did not tell you the truth. But at the end of the good thing was that he went to court himself. I remember that issue. He went to court seeking the Supreme Court's interpretation of that. Because it's better he does that before he tells you people to come and choke his money for nothing. So we need to know about that. So it's not all lost yet for Tinubu. It's not all lost yet. It's not all lost yet. But if you have had it and declared falsifying of documents
that have not had anything,
that is falsification of documents with the intent to deceive public office. For me, that is a crime for which he should not be sworn in.
Okay. Listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And it's gone, 11:33, the Monday edition of the morning show. Now let's move on. Let's go back to Yomi for some more stories making the rounds in Nigeria. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, as days continue to count to the May 29, if all goes as planned, because not until May 29, especially with the court case that is going on and all such, it also seems that some of the election that was rerun in Nigeria over the weekend was not as different from the ones that have been done where ballot boxes are snatched. But the most important one was that Adamawa State, where the announcement of the result came with a kind of a big surprise, and it seems that INEC is not satisfied, and that has now been put on hold, even though the APC candidate, the woman, has already done what we can call the Thanksgiving speech, even though the election is not yet completed. It shows that billions of dollars continue to be spent, but Nigerians are still causing more. It's still becoming a little bit, worrying as well. Adamawa gubernatorial election loser declared winner by INEC. This is coming from, Atiku himself. Here in Adamawa, we are witness to a novel practice in election management where a resident electoral commission announced the loser of an election as winner. The former vice presidential candidate Atiku has described the purported declaration of Adamawa governorship election result as a game plan to obtain democratic wishes of the people in the state, just as so many other states, are still complaining, but they always say go to court, and that is where you can resolve the problem. Senate presidency, APC faces zoning hurdles as northern senators also join in the race. And that is becoming a little bit concerned because we do know that, we've already have a Muslim ticket. It seems that the northern part of Nigeria, APC caucus, are also interested, to be the next Senate president, which is going to be the 10th Senate, as we know. The elections didn't come easy as to what started around 8 p.m. This is just, but again, from what we know, there's a push from the north to also take the Senate president as well. But we will have to wait and see how, the APC will manage the situation as well. If you're traveling out of Nigeria today, you might be witnessing aviation, union have begun strike. I do not know how long that is going to be lasting for, but what we know is passengers are now stranded as the aviation union begin a strike. Just as so many other strikes have taken place in Nigeria, last year we had about 8 months of Nigerian students out of school. ASU hasn't said much, but there has been information as of last week that there's going to be a strike. But again, activities in the aviation sector of the Nigeria have been disrupted, with many passengers are now stranded as Aviation Union today commenced their 2-day warning strike. So it's going to have today and tomorrow. Members of the unions have blocked the entrance to the Muritala Mohammed Airport domestic terminal, leaving passengers stranded. Maybe that might not affect the international side because it's two different airports here, but it seems that the local airport will be affected. I'm not too sure how many Nigerians are still traveling using a very expensive, flight, but those that can afford it would definitely won't be able to do those flight journey. And if you're traveling on the aircraft, you will probably not want to go on a 13 hours journey from Lagos to Abuja. I have done it before, but especially with the insecurity and the kidnapping and a lot of atrocity on the road, those that have the means will probably have to wait until those strike get back to normality. 11:37 time is quite spent already. Let's take one more and then we go straight back, into the social media to what is happening. In every society, if the business is not working, if you can't get a job, let's remember that 41% of Nigerians will not be able to get a job, because of low industrialization in the country, the depth of the country and the inflation as well. But horrible roads, blackout running businesses, as Abuja traders have also cried out. We've talked about this, so many times. It seems that the NEPA issue, is still not going anywhere. And as Nigerians that are having their small scale businesses, whether hairdresser, whether you are selling the cold water, but you need that electricity, and it's got to be constant so that you can have a smooth operation. Whether you have a small office as well, I'm sure you remember these kind of images. I experienced it while I was in Nigeria, especially as a student studying inside a private private hostel, not a boarding school. But most of the time we have to read through the night using these very dangerous electricity source of power. But that is still happening 24 years after we left Nigeria. Some Abuja traders have now urged President Muhammadu Buhari's regime, which is almost lasting, they probably have to be talking to the new president, to provide a conducive environment for their businesses to strive. I saw one of my videos that I did about 5 years ago, traveling into, some of the, the farms in Nigeria, especially in the Southwest, when I wanted to become, what we can call a very small scale off-taker, whether to be, in support of a small business in Nigeria. And, each of the time we were moving through those, farms, the question is, if not the kind of vehicle that we were driving in, there is no way you can move your produce out because nobody has actually done, those roads as well. So, and this is not happening just in Abuja, it's happening all over the place. Mr. Chidi says he has spent a lot of money on the fuel to power his generation, to preserve perishable product. And that is something, that a lot of Nigerians are facing as we speak right now. Let's now go straight, to the social media, and then I'll come back again to you at exactly, 20 minutes before 12 noon. Go to court is trending, as we know. It's always been the trend as well. Go to court. When you go to court, then that literally means that, you'll be able to do whatever you need to do from there. African Confidential says, I want to challenge Yoruba nationalists to channel all that energy we use in tackling the Igbos into reawakening the Yoruba nation movement that Dupe, Oniro, Onidaru, Onijibiti, Onitiri has clearly put to sleep with her deception and lies in the name of God. This should be our priority. We know that as Africans, we believe in God, it's part of us, even though we have our own tradition as well. But it seems that, God's name has been used as a lot of deceit and lies to so many as well. Festus Keyamo is one person that back a lot of criticism on the social media. It was actually, I'm going to be talking about that a little bit more tomorrow, because he came out to give us his own statistics as the Minister of Labor to how many Nigerians they were even able to do what they call skill accusation. But he's come up with a post that one of the most confounding things you read on the social media is the dubious justification for abusive, disrespectful nature of some of these younger elements to the older generations, which is that they are justifiably angry with the older generation for allegedly mismanaging the affairs of our country. So the older generation does not deserve any respect. And then guess what? That anger now propels them to build a movement around a character who is straight out of the same generation they complain about, and who until last year was part and parcel of the political parties. Is actually referring back to Peter Obi. Remember that even as at 2019, Peter Obi was still the vice presidential candidate of Atiku. So it seems that there is no change with those obedient movement as well. And that is about it, this morning on the social media. And I'm going to come back again to you now in the studio, Mr. Archie and Frank.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, there's one thing that he says it seems to be trending, and this one, I've made some notes about it, that go to the court.
Yeah.
Go to the court. Now, I'll go to the court. If you tell me that we have an issue, I will go to the court, because if I believe the court will give me the redress that I need. It is going to be a free and fair hearing. Okay. But we see this time and over, because our leadership are the ones who have appointed the judges or those on that panel, and we know that they are going to now just sing the voices of their masters. So if people are saying, other parties are saying, look at that, go to court. Look at that. In Ghana, they'll say, election is go to court, because we know that we appointed those people. Now, it gets to a point where people are looking at it and say, no more going to court. And we will see what is happening in Sudan in our own communities.
We pray it doesn't happen to us. But Archie, that is a possibility, and you're 100% right. If, like we keep on saying, if people lose confidence in judiciary, it's just like losing confidence in yourself. And anyone who has committed suicide, they will tell you that, psychologists will tell you at the point of committing suicide, the person has lost every single hope. That if anyone who commits suicide knows that the next 2 minutes something different might happen. Something different might happen. Probably their situation could turn around within a minute, within the next minute. They will know. Psychologically, all they know is that I am dead. And therefore, let me just end it all. Once that kicks into their brains, they begin to do all kind of unthinkable. And I think that's what we're having in this case as well. Look, the court systems are not delivering. If you do a survey and you ask 100 people today, do you trust a Ghanaian court? Do you try a Nigerian court? They'll tell you, now which one, this one to where from? They don't trust it, because we know that people who deserve justice are not getting the justice. Justice is now on sale in most of these countries. Or you either be powerful. I listened to one Canada, Japan, who will be going to, for instance, where he was talking about someone who owns money, 1.5 million, and they needed a help for them to cross to majority, and he has to pay 1 million out of his pocket to get the chairman of that party to step down so that they can get the independent board to become one. But what interests me in his submission, he said the man told him that, look, I owe this bank 1.5 million, and I'm not being taken to court or arrested because I am a chairman of the MPP. If I step down today, tomorrow
they will arrest me.
So it tells you again how political office is being abused. As we speak, what do you call it? Staging. It's not being looked at. Affairs is not being looked into. So actually, within our political system, we need to correct some of those things.
So Yomi, what do you think Nigerians will say about this go to court? Do Nigerians have confidence in the court system?
Well, go to court is the new phrase in Nigeria because, and it's actually trending at about almost 49,000. And let me just, read some of the, the response coming, from Nigerians, these particular hour. These says, I'm just taking some of those go to court. Nigerians are reacting, okay, Showore is such a terrible being, the election is over, he refused to go to court. Do you know that do you know what he's doing? He's busy dragging Peter Obi, who came third, but left Tinubu and Atiku. Why? He was told by Tinubu that he didn't go do enough to stop Peter Obi. So you can see, some of the reaction there. Again, Preach Love says, Peter Obi's victory in Lagos surprised APC, says Fashola. Part 1, go to court. And that is also trending as well. APC served Senator Smart Adeyemi hot breakfast. He went on the Arise TV crying, Smart Adeyemi, go to court. Nigerians, so the reaction, has been a very, very big, and a lot of people know that, going to court is not going to solve, the situation because, Buhari went to court so many times, he didn't get the result. Atiku went to court, he didn't get the result. Is there going to be any changes with the Peter B and Atiku going to court? Because we now have 2 as against 1 that normally goes to court. We can only, speculate, but we will have to wait and see if going to court would be the new change of situation. Because if going to court means that, the turnaround comes through the court process, will then the present elect president accept the result in as much as they are telling everybody to go to court?
Wow. I think Olayomi, you have to go to court. Olayomi, let me find out from you on the NEPA issue, the electricity issue. We know about 2 years ago, there was this project about Ericsson. How far with that project? Because we're told that in 2 years' time, Nigerian energy sector should be seen a bit. Because I recall a contract was signed. We spoke about it that Ericsson has moved in to change a lot of transformers. What is happening over there, Olayomi, please?
Do you mean with the energy?
Yes, energy sector.
Well, there hasn't been more changes, but they are pushing for the constitution to be amended so that each state can generate and also transmit. Because as I speak right now, with the 1999 fraudulent constitution, the military decree, you will not be able to do. You can bring in, but you won't be able to transmit. But if that changed, maybe state like Lagos State that have the main river state, and some of those states that are doing very well might be able to produce their own electricity, and that will start, reducing the problem through the federal, transmission coming into the other part of the state.
Interesting. Now, you know what happens when it comes to issues like that. There are some stakeholders in there who are making money from the fact that the NEPA is not working the way it's supposed to work. Okay, those who are importing all these generators and those who are bringing the fuel in and stuff like that, they are making money at the back of it. So if electricity becomes normalized and everybody is getting it, that means their business gone bust. So they will do everything in their power to stop it, and that seems to be what is happening. What do you think?
Sir.
Olayomi is in the courtroom.
I was saying that most of the people, why Nigeria has not gotten out of this energy downdrams back in the day, it's because of the fact that there are some people, some stakeholders in there.
Oh yes, there's a lot. We all know that there's different stakeholders, that operate within Nigeria. I've been following the import and the export of 2021. And it's quite interesting that what we export more at about 72.5% is our crude oil. We are not literally producing any other thing, even though most of other products that are export are the mineral resources. We know that we have the human talent that can be export as well, but that is not going as much as it is. So the stakeholders, those that are bringing in generators does not want, electricity to work, and likewise, there's just too many bottleneck. And Fashola that we talked about, as a former governor, was given to portfolio in 2015, even though Buhari took 6 months before appointing minister. And then when that comes, 2 portfolio was given to the star boy, Fashola, the power and the other sector as well. But eventually, till date, Fashola said he never promised Nigerians 24 hours electricity.
Well, so if you are listening to us from Nigeria this morning, that is your faith. Well, they didn't promise you, so if you don't get it, you can't question them. But what do you think about all this? Lots more going to be coming your way from there. Aziz says that you absolutely right, Mr. Archie. Thank you very much, Aziz. Our people, I mean, I don't know why we let them. We let them to come and rule over us.
No, no. Let's stop saying we let them. I mean,
we appoint them, or they are appointed.
They are selected. See, I mean, from what we are witnessing in Nigeria now, it's like we all go to vote, but a few select or whichever selection. So I want to exonerate a lot of Nigerians going forward. That majority of Nigerians might not have wanted a particular candidate, but a person. So let them blame them. We shouldn't blame them all. Because if I've gone to vote for someone and the person has probably won clearly and they've imposed another person, how do I take the blame?
Well, I did what I had to do.
I did what I had to do.
System.
So the majority of Nigerian, please, let's spare them.
Wow. Thank you. As it says, they are the cabas in charge, and that's the ones who are causing all this pain to citizens. Well, listen, this is a very, very sad one. Okay, Yomi, before you go.
Well, Archie, Frank, will take you through the rest of the segment of the program. Tomorrow, we're going to be discussing a little bit into, how much, Nigerians got a job, in the 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari, based on the data that they are releasing, which we're going to discuss tomorrow. But for now, I'll leave you in the good hands of Archie and Frank. It is Starr Radio UK, the morning show, and I'll be back at exactly 11 o'clock, same time. There is no time difference between us and Nigeria now. We are running parallel, same time, and that is almost few minutes before noon. And have a very good afternoon for those of you watching us on the other part of the globe. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is Starr Radio UK. We're going to take a quick break. I'll bring you some lovely music. And it says